but Terence Crawford is the best fighter in the world. I would like to fight him.
Fundora and Crawford, set for a WBO-mandated clash in the battle for junior middleweight supremacy. The WBO has set a 30-day deadline for Terence Crawford and Sebastian Fundora to finalize their junior middleweight title fight. If they can't reach a deal, a $200,000 purse bid will be triggered, with special rules applying if Crawford's super champion status comes into play. Meanwhile, Sebastian Fundora states he would like to fight Crawford, acknowledging him as the best fighter.
Fight Errol Spence. Whatever they give me, whatever they give me. Errol Spence is a great opportunity. I think it's a match made in heaven. But Terence Crawford is the best fighter in the world. I would like to fight him.
Similarly, on X, Terence Crawford expressed his eagerness that he's ready for the Fundora bout. Additionally, former professional boxer Benavidez Sr. thinks a Crawford versus Fundora fight would be fire, with Crawford never squaring up against a tall, tricky dude like Fundora, and Fundora never testing himself against a top dog like Crawford.
Right, man, Fundora, it's a very tall guy, man, and he does give a lot of problems. It's going to be exciting, man. I can't wait to see, hopefully that fight happens. And see, those are the fights that we want to see. We want to see tough fighters, and awkward fighters, This guy's super tall, man. Crawford has never faced a guy like that, so big.
Benavidez Sr. is torn when it comes to picking sides in a Crawford versus Fundora matchup. He's got a lot of respect for Terence Crawford, acknowledging him as a top fighter and appreciating his skills. But at the same time, he's got a close relationship with Fundora, who he sees as family. So, his loyalty is naturally leaning toward Fundora. But it's not an easy choice for him given how much he admires Crawford. Benavidez Sr. added, "I would go with Crawford, but at the end of the day, they're going to give us a great fight, and may the best man win." Furthermore, boxing trainer Bozy Ennis thinks Crawford would take out both Chu and Fundora.
You know what I mean? And then I found out that he said he would rather fight Errol Spence next. You know what I mean? After he won the fight, he wanted to fight Errol Spence next, I heard. And then he said if he can't get Errol Spence, then he'll fight Crawford. Yeah. Because somebody said he was trying to duck Crawford. I don't think he was trying to duck Crawford. You know what I mean? I think that's the fight he wanted. You know what I mean? So.
Who has the edge in those fights? If Crawford faced Zoo or Crawford faced Fundora.
I like Crawford against both of them. Yeah. I like Crawford against both of them, beating both of them.
Additionally, boxing promoter Bozy Ennis thinks that Crawford moving up a weight class to face Chu isn't a bigger challenge than fighting Fundora or Chu at their current weight. Bozy added Crawford had what he been on that weight for a while too though, and Crawford can punch too though. See, he can punch, so I think Harsmarting though probably wouldn't just bang with him, be smart box and move. In addition, former professional boxer Paulie Malignaggi says Fundora's solid at 154 thanks to his height and reach. He also hinted Crawford's coming up to the weight class, and Spence might make a comeback.
Sebastian Fundora is looking great. He has the reach, he has the height, he has a lot of difficulties for his opposition. But when we listed out who has the biggest draw, you said he's probably the least. Could a victory over Errol Spence Jr., if it is dominant, launch him into that superstar range?
The 154-pound division is sort of messy right now, but in a good way. There's good fighters. You can't really see who's going to be the top of it yet. You can never count out Crawford dominating again, but you keep in mind his age, and you don't know how long he's going to stay at that weight class. So there's a lot of confusion in the 154-pound division, but it's a confusion that you don't mind because there's a lot of possible fights that can be made. Boxing, though, loves not to keep its own rules. Errol Spence is not supposed to get a title shot coming off a loss. So the fact that we're even talking about this is wild. But Tip, as usual, boxing makes it up as it goes along.
Furthermore, boxing trainer Andre Rozier says Crawford's skills are top-notch, but Fundora's size and reach make him a tough opponent.
So well as Anthony Joshua, about 6'5 and a half, 6'6". How difficult is that fight going to be for Terence Crawford, man?
Well, I mean, it's Terence Crawford can solve many puzzles. That's his capability. That's his technical prowess, and I think he would definitely solve the puzzle eventually somewhere down the line. It's a tough fight, though. Fundora is not an easy fight.
Rozier highlights that Terence Crawford's skill set allows him to tackle challenging opponents effectively. He notes that Fundora, due to his height and unorthodox style, would pose a unique test for Crawford. Rozier emphasizes that Crawford's ability to adapt means he could eventually overcome Fundora's difficulties, though it would be a substantial challenge. Rozier added, Fundora is 6'6" and brings a different type of challenge. He's long and lanky, making him unique compared to Crawford's previous opponents. Crawford's problem-solving skills will be crucial in figuring out Fundora and securing a win. Similarly, former professional boxer Rob Acosta expresses confidence that Crawford will defeat Fundora. He believes Crawford could stop Fundora with a body shot.
I just did that for the fans. No, I like that fight. I think Crawford beats them both. I think he beats both. I think Crawford can stop Fundora with a body shot in the mid rounds, later rounds. And I think Tim Tszyu, he gonna work a little bit, but I think he can get him out of there. I think Crawford got the better IQ for both. He got the better experience.
Acosta highlights Crawford's superior boxing IQ, experience, and adaptability, which he believes would give him the upper hand against both fighters. He argues that Fundora's height and his ability to throw a high volume of punches make him a more complex challenge. Crawford, known for his strategic prowess, would need to be particularly cautious against Fundora's aggressive style. Acosta added, "Fundora is tall, lanky, and throws a lot of punches, so it could be difficult early on." Furthermore, boxing coach Breadman says, "Fundora is tough to beat unless you land a big punch."
Give Earl props for wanting to fight Fundora first fight back. But if you can't clip Fundora with a big punch, he's not going to be easy for nobody.
Coach Breadman discusses Terence Crawford's strengths and vulnerabilities. He acknowledges that Crawford may appear somewhat fragile, but emphasizes his resilience and skill, citing recent victories over tough competitors like Alim Connolly and Tim Tszyu. This blend of vulnerability and determination makes Crawford a compelling figure in potential matchups, particularly against durable fighters like Fundora. Moreover, professional boxer Haven Brady says Fundora's bad at using his height, so he's easy to deal with because he stays close.
And if Fundora if that height can be it'd be real effective, then he might have a chance, but I don't think so. I think it's 80-20, and I think Crawford gonna beat them. He gonna beat either one easily.
Brady describes his approach to handling taller opponents. He talks about how he plans to use a steady jab and body shots to close the distance and avoid being an easy target. By keeping his movement consistent and not staying in one place, he aims to wear down his opponent over time. This strategy is particularly relevant when facing someone like Fundora, who might be more vulnerable if they can't effectively use their height advantage. Meanwhile, Sebastian Fundora's victory over Tim Tszyu came after a previous 7th-round knockout loss to Brian Mendoza, one of the year's biggest upsets. Reflecting on the fight, boxing promoter Jeff Mayweather says Tim Tszyu was doing great until he got cut by an elbow, which messed up his game and changed how the fight played out.
Tim was doing really well. Then after he got elbowed, blood just started flowing freely, and Fundora started using his jab, and his jab started landing.
And you were thinking they should have, if you're Tszyu's corner, they should have got the fight called off early, right? So they could have got a no contest?
Yeah, I think that they should have had the fight stopped in the 3rd round.
Jeff Mayweather reflects on the pivotal moment in the fight when Tim Tszyu sustained a serious cut from an elbow. Mayweather feels the fight should have been stopped in the 3rd round to prevent further injury and potentially secure a no-contest result. He acknowledges that Tszyu's perseverance and will to continue fighting demonstrates significant heart and bravery. However, this determination ultimately cost him the title as Sebastian Fundora took advantage of the injury. Fundora's jab, which had been largely ineffective at first, became a key weapon once the cut opened up, allowing him to control the fight. Jeff Mayweather added, "It shows that Tim Tszyu has the heart of a lion, but it also cost him his world title." Moreover, boxing analyst Teddy Atlas argues Tszyu should have won on the scorecards, but notes that a cut in the 2nd round shifted the fight's momentum.
No, I thought he won the fight. I thought he won the fight on the scorecards the way the fight played out. You almost want to put an asterisk next to the fight, and I'm not. But you almost want to, because there's no doubt on this planet that cut in the 2nd round on the top of the head of Tszyu changed the course of this fight.
Teddy Atlas explains the impact of Tim Tszyu's cut, explaining how it completely shifted the fight's momentum. He notes that Tszyu had been steadily applying pressure, closing the distance between himself and Fundora in a controlled and deliberate way. He wasn't rushing in recklessly, but was tactically moving closer to land heavy shots to the body and head. Teddy believes that Tszyu was gaining ground and might have eventually overpowered Fundora, similar to how Terence Crawford systematically breaks down his opponents with patience and precision. But the cut on Tszyu's head changed everything. Teddy added, "And then all of a sudden, bang, the floodgates open, literally open with the blood, and it changed the core. It changed the course of the fight." Teddy Atlas notes improvements in Fundora's fighting style, stating that he has learned to fight taller, which had been his weakness before.
I take nothing away from Fundora, what he did the rest of the way, dealing with you know, what the opportunity in front of him, blood everywhere. He, you know, the floodgates open up with blood, and then you get an upset. Fundora, yeah, maybe it was his destiny to win a title. Him and his sister are now champions at the same time.
Yep.
She has a world title. First time a sister brother had the titles at the same time. Just the clouds of fate, whatever you want to call it, lined up. The stars lined up. With that cut, it gave Fundora an opportunity that I don't know if he could have pulled it off under circumstances without that cut. I don't know. We'll never know.
Teddy Atlas breaks down the changes in Fundora's strategy, emphasizing how he's adapted to better use his height and reach. Previously criticized for fighting inside and exposing himself to danger, Fundora demonstrated he could keep a more tactical distance, making it difficult for Tszyu to get in close and land effective punches. This approach mirrored how elite fighters like Crawford manage range, using every inch of their physical advantages to control the fight. By fighting smarter, Fundora minimized risks and maximized his assets, showing growth in his overall boxing IQ. Atlas added, he kept them on the outside. He kept Tszyu a step behind him as much as he could, and he did it pretty consistently. Meanwhile, Terence Crawford's unanimous decision victory over Israil Madrimov has caused a stir, with fans and experts labeling it a robbery. This contentious result has sparked a heated debate about the integrity of boxing's judging. Here are some reactions from the boxing community. Boxing promoter Eddie Hearn criticized the judges, claiming Madrimov controlled most of the fight and deserved the win. He criticizes one judge for giving Crawford the last 4 rounds, questioning the fairness of the decision.
But damn scorecard, just talk to me a little
Yeah,
bit.
listen, it's a really close fight. It's not a robbery, but I feel like we get no recognition on the scorecard as champion in a really close fight. Like, one judge gives Crawford the last 4 rounds. Like, there is absolutely no way he wins 9 and 10. And, like, I just feel like as champion you come in, and like if you were some random, like, challenger from some obscure country and it was a close fight, like, you never really expect to win it. That's not right either. But like, as champion coming in, I don't feel like that was a performance from Terence Crawford to dethrone the champion.
Eddie Hearn critiqued the fight between Israil Madrimov and Terence Crawford. He starts by acknowledging that while Madrimov showed signs of needing more experience, he still felt Madrimov did enough to win the fight. Hearn points out that Madrimov's right hand was particularly effective, noting that he couldn't miss Bud with the right hand, and that Crawford's face was visibly damaged, with his eye suffering from the impact. Hearn believes that Madrimov's performance was strong enough to merit a win, and he felt Crawford's performance did not clearly justify a victory. He states, "I felt that he could have lost tonight," emphasizing his belief that Madrimov might have been the true winner. Boxing trainer Joel Diaz believes Madrimov did enough to deserve a draw, which would have allowed him to keep his title. He feels that a draw would have been a fair result given Madrimov's performance from.
Did what he had to do to win tonight. And like I told you, I'm going to repeat it one more time. A draw would have been a win for us, so at least he could keep his title because he did enough. Okay, let's put it this way. He did enough to walk away with a draw and walk away with his title, man. Come on.
Diaz emphasizes that Madrimov was dominant for most of the fight. He states, he was walking 80% of the time, he was the one walking down Crawford. This means that Madrimov was actively pursuing Crawford and controlling the pace of the fight, making Crawford move backward or stay on the defensive. Diaz also highlights Madrimov's effectiveness when he throws punches. He explains, every time he threw the right hand, he landed at the hook. This suggests that Madrimov's right hand punches were consistently landing with impact, particularly when he used hooks. Despite not having a high volume of punches, the ones Madrimov did throw were significant and landed well. Furthermore, Crawford moved up to 154 pounds with his eyes set on a Canelo fight at 168, but after his shaky performance against Madrimov, it looks like taking on Canelo might be a long shot. Furthermore, pro boxer Canelo Alvarez calls a potential fight with Terence Crawford easy money, sparking controversy and questions about fairness and competitiveness.
Do it. Why not? Why not? I think Crawford don't get me wrong. He's a great fighter. But for me, in my weight class, it's an easy fight. For me, easy money. So
Canelo Alvarez's recent comments about the potential fight with Terence Crawford have stirred considerable debate in the boxing world. Alvarez has emphasized that he would only consider this high-profile match if the money is right, suggesting that substantial financial incentives are a critical factor in his decision-making process. Similarly, Terence Crawford criticizes Canelo for consistently fighting smaller opponents.
With all the antics that Canelo is doing and saying in the media and whatnot about the size and he won't get no credit and all this type of things. But Canelo been fighting smaller guys his whole career. Canelo been making his own catch weight for years. You know, Canelo fought a smaller Mayweather. Canelo fought a smaller...
Referring to weight class difference and money issue, Crawford added, "I'm pretty sure he didn't make as much money with all those guys, except Mayweather, even Berlanga right now that he will with me. But yet and still, you know, he have all these excuses why he don't want to take a fight with me. If it's all about business, then you doing good business." Crawford reveals Canelo is demanding $200 million to fight David Benavidez and $150 million to face him, suggesting these hefty sums show Canelo's fear of the challenge. Crawford believes Canelo's reluctance and high price tag highlight the significant threat he poses. Crawford thinks beating Canelo would significantly impact Canelo's legacy, emphasizing that defeating the reigning champion in a higher weight class is a major achievement. He believes Canelo's hesitation reflects his fear of losing and the potential damage to his legacy. What are your thoughts on this intriguing situation? We'd love to hear your opinions. Drop them in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video and want more content like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button and check out our other videos.